Awesome. Who's having a good time here so far this morning? Good. Dr. Andrew and I, we are going to kind of take Pastor Dean's approach last night, and we are going to give you some nuts and bolts that you can take back with you that we've been able to experience, and so it's going to be absolutely amazing.
I think one thing I really want to make sure we say is, who feels like you're really becoming a part of a community? I mean, especially right after Dr. Ben talks about, you know, if you're not getting coaching from him, you're still a part of a community. How many of you get the Monday text messages, right? I know every Monday we're reading it to our staff, and it's a community. And it's so much easier to do things when you're a part of a community. So our goal today is to not bore you, okay? Because we've all been a part of where when it becomes system-minded, it's so easy to be like, I'm fading out, I don't want to change anything. But you really, really need to pay attention, and I promise you, we're going to deliver some incredible value. And when we were preparing for this, our first thought was really, we're nobodies. Yeah, I mean, don't leave me hanging, right? We all feel like at times we're that nobody. Who are we? And then before you know it, we're like, man, we've got these things in place that we've put together ourselves, and it's just incredible to see what God has done. And I think that today our goal for you is, and for us, is let's create a community to where we have each other's backs and we see success in ways that God only has in store.
Yeah, just to let you know that we're nobodies, I got a text from literally every family member that says, don't suck today.
I got a little payback, yeah, don't suck. I've told them, Pastor Dean, so many times, don't suck, great piece of advice. It's kind of, you know, how do you live to be 100? Just keep breathing. So kind of same thing, all right? Here's a video we want to start off with, have a little fun, of where whenever I saw it, we found it, it reminded us of, I won't tell you yet. Watch this video. Crank it up.
Go to Miss Margaret. Say, here I come, Miss Margaret. Say, here I come, Miss Margaret.
1, 2, 3. Let's go. Push.
Say, here I come, Miss Margaret.
You got it. You got it. Let's jump off that way, RJ.
Say, RJ, say, here I come, Miss Margaret.
Watch his feet.
Say it.
The Parkinson's taking over in him, right? You know, and here's what we thought whenever first seeing it. And don't you dare leave me hanging on this. How many of you been scared to try something new within your office? Don't leave. I mean, here was our first thought, especially when we're talking about ways of using the internet and social media. And you should have seen some of your faces yesterday when I'm like, take a selfie. You're like, oh, good God, what is that? All right, now do what with it? For us, that kid, it really represents so many chiropractors that we talk to that are scared to death. But yet the first thing you tell us is that I want to see thousands, right? I want to see 2,000, 3,000 a week. I want to be that doctor in our community. So here's the way we feel. We're the granddad in the back that lifted him up, put him on the diving board, knowing that he's going to be scared to death, but waiting at the bottom is just the most incredible fun that anybody can have. But he can't push him because then he's going to hate the success. He's going to hate the water and think that that's always something that's bad. But yet when we talk to you, you're like, I want that. And we're like, God, can we just push them? Should we push them into it? And we've tried it and you fail miserably. And you're like, I'm not doing this marketing thing because so many people come so fast. And we grow too much, and my staff doesn't like it. And, well, I didn't talk to my spouse about it, right? And there's nothing wrong with talking to your spouse about it. But there are times of where we want to put you in a position to be successful, especially knowing that this group loves Jesus.
Amen.
Because when we get those patients in front of you, now you're going to give them the best product, the two best products I believe there always are, Jesus and health. And I think it's something where today, please don't be Elvis, okay? Don't go Elvis on us. Just listen, and I promise you, we're going to find ways to make you the doctor in your community.
The worst thing you're going to do is hit the water. It's okay.
Yeah, don't you know that I've always thought, I'm like, I would love to see the rest of the video. Because you know the boy's probably swimming around like a dang duck now and enjoying it, and the dad and grandpa are probably sitting over having a drink, not even watching them, all right? But there was somebody there waiting. There was always that one decision that was the major growth decision, and they're like, come on, buddy, you can do it.
All right, one of the number one things, because there's a lot of competition, like Dr. Ben said, you're going to get news feeds if you're a chiropractor every single day on a marketing company or getting leads. And the number one thing that makes ours different is just literally raw numbers, okay? Like Dr. Ben said, we're going to average, and I don't say these braggingly, by the way. No way. I say these very humble, but I just wanted to be transparent with y'all where we're going to see an average of 50 to 80 to 100 new every single month. We've been doing this for about 2.5 years. So it's not like it's just like, hey, I was talking to a doc here. I think he had to leave. He was like, man, this is awesome. I've done the marketing, and he was like, it was great for a while. So I was like, how long was it good for? Like 3 months, 6 months? He said, it was awesome for 3 weeks. I was like, 3 weeks? And he's like, so does yours work like month after month? And I'm like, yeah, what? Does yours not? I mean, if it doesn't, then stop doing it. But if it works, obviously, like Dr. Ben says, Andrew, if I give you $3,000, okay?
$3,000 what?
Dollars.
Okay.
Okay? You give me $3,000.
Okay.
Okay, you give me $3,000. I'm going to give you $40K a month. How many months in a row are you going to do that?
Let me pray about it.
Okay, perfect. So,
all right, I'm in.
Yeah, that's what I asked my dad. He's like, how much you spend on marketing? And I said, up there, Dad, 3,000 and or whatever. Some months more, depending on what we got going on. And he's like, son, that's crazy. I said, but Dad, if you give me this and then I return this, I was like, when are you going to stop? He's like, okay, good point. So
it's not going to stop. That's what really makes us a lot different in everything that we do.
Yep.
This is yours again.
Okay. All right. So here we go. Let me tell a story. So this week I went out to breakfast or after our morning shift with my daughter, and she said, Dad, what are you talking about? I said, we're talking about, the Leap Media and everything that we're doing. She's like, I know that, but specifically, what are you talking about? So I kind of shared with her, and she's like, Dad, promise me one thing that you'll talk about. And I said, what is it? And she said, Dad, you used to do all this stuff when I was young, and step in for me for a minute. Gone at night. But I loved it. I loved it. Did patient dinners. Grew. It was amazing. But gone at night. Quite a bit. I'm not gone at night. She's our next chiropractor. So, one of the cool things about this process for me is I'm home every night. I got 4 kids. I love it.
That's how you stay married for 40 years.
Yep, literally. I'm home at night. I got a couple shifts where I finish at 5, a couple at 5:30, but I'm home every night. My daughter's like, Dad, this is awesome. During shift, we're in there 18 hours a week, so I don't say that braggingly. Dr. Ben's helped us establish these systems where we can see more and more, and that's a great thing about this is it's just not about marketing, it's about systems. And you got to have that to change your community because that's what God wants us to do. It's a one-day process, but here's the thing with this one-day process. I was talking with a doc earlier today, not throwing you under the bus, but he's just like, man, I got this issue. I have some staff that will see like 26 new a month, and I don't know if they're feeling like they're working too much, like they're not going to want to increase their capacity. I said, number one, we learned about leadership. That's on you and me. So we got to increase that capacity. But then number one, you're making that about who? Who's he making it about? Or his staff, they're making it about who? Them. It's not about us. It's not about us. We have a community where we get these leads every single month. And I tell my staff, we're going to figure this out. We got to increase our capacity. That's what we've been learning about this week, to be winners, not for us, but to change their life. So Pastor Dean says this, let's see, where do we break this church off at? With these all new gray chairs, we increased another 500 a week. But what happens, that back half was full every Sunday. We're bringing in chairs every Sunday. He's like, we're going to get them in this building. Like one thing that he says all the time, you know what? We're full. So he's like, we might as well put a sign outside and says, we're full, go to hell. Can't fit you in. Is that what you want your office to be? Heck no. That's not what God's called us to be. He's called us to go out and reach the community, because if we don't, they're going to live off meds. That's what they're going to do. We got to be willing to step up and change. That's what God calls us, wants us to do.
So one thing that we had to do, and this is one reason why we even started the company of Leap Media, is we want to see chiropractors be successful. I mean, it's the best industry profession that there is. And with so many chiropractors, we talked to docs that were 25 years into it, and they're like, we don't have the money to even put into that. Which means they're not helping anybody, and their systems stink. So what we had to do is we had to find a way to where when the masses come, because you're the guy in the community, because the marketing is just constantly going and going, and it's doing it for you. Now the people are in front of you, you're like, crap, we've got a 2-3 day system. They're group DRs at night. We're spending all this time. The additional income's incredible, but you're becoming off purpose at that time. So what we've created, and it's crazy to even say with Ryan and I, but that we've mastered, is a 1-day process of how to create value in a patient in just one visit. In one visit. And today, what we want to do is we asked Dr. Rob, Dr. Ben personally, of one of the things that changed our lives forever is when we went to one of Dr. Rob's events, and he had a client that opened up his office, which was nearby, and said, just come be a part of the office. Just come see it, pick things up. And it's one of the best things that we've ever done. Even when you're in front of these speakers that are great, right? It's just sometimes it's not practical to plug and play on Monday. So today what we're going to do, and what you're going to do today, is you're going to come visit one of our offices.
Let me do a plug for that as you text that in. Both of our staffs are going to be at our office, and I literally want to open up everything to you. Paperwork, the system, the tour. We'll show you how we take a day one from the beginning to, we don't water down the truth either in the principle, neither one of us. So we're going to show you literally open book, open paper, and our staffs are amazing.
I hope everyone knows how to do that. If you're not sure how to text, we're in a little bit of trouble, right? So go to a new message. It says 2-33777. Then underneath it, it's a subject box. You type that in. One reason I want to do it is because Dr. Ben let's get signed up. Those text messages, being a part of the community is incredible. We're going to do this right at the end of the event today. It's going to be awesome. Next, Rhonda. Paging in the back. There we go.
All right, so who here is a doctor? Raise your hand. I need to see all the doctors. All right, perfect. All right, next question. Who here is a business owner? All right, so all you doctors own your businesses. Perfect. So they are two different things, right?
Vastly.
Yes? Okay. So as a business owner, we got to talk about some raw numbers. So in order for me to look at stuff, we have to look at ROI, return on investment. But it isn't an investment. All right, so let me just show you, average client, how this works out. I want to break it down a little bit for you because I'm a numbers guy. I love this stuff. All right, so we're going to get you approximately 60 leads a month on average. Brian, the Facebook team, they're incredible. They're going to get you somewhere around 60 leads a month, give or take some. 60% show rate. So the leads don't equal patients. You're going to get 60%. Follow the system. All right, we've been doing it for 2.5 years. Text, emails, phone calls. Got everything for you in spreadsheets. It's easy for your office. We train you how to do that. It's an incredible system. That equals 36 new patients in the door. This is from just straight outside marketing. This doesn't include your referrals, any of that. This is just what we do every single month. We do the day one process. We'll show you that in a minute. Then we just give them, at the end of that, we give them options. Whatever technique you do, you're going to go through your finances with them. You're going to give them options. So we do corrections, and then we do lifetime wellness in our practice. So that's what Andrew and I do in our clinics. So of this 60% kept rate, so that's always our challenge. We're business developers. just not doctors, but we're also business developers. How do we make this better? How can we increase our kept rate for outside marketing? How do we go from 60% to 80% kept patients? We work with our staff on this. Let's say you keep 60% of those 36 new. You're looking at 21.6. I'm not sure what 0.6 of a patient is, but it is. All right, let's say your case average is $2,000 a month or $2,000 a case, right? Which is a little bit low, so mine's definitely higher than that. But let's just say yours is $2,000 an average case. All right, that equals $43,200 in collectible services a month. I understand you're not getting paid all that up front, but you better be collecting 95 or 100% of these collectible service. Everybody follow me? Does that make sense? That's per month. All right, this is income producing collectible money per month on a low average here, on a low case average. So I just wanted to break this investment down for you because as a business owner, I want to be able to look at these numbers every single month, and we track these to a detail because I want to know what my return on investment is if I'm giving somebody money from a business perspective on then what am I returning. Everybody with me?
Yeah.
Yes?
Here's one thing that we're going to break down what a lead is. We've got a video because we're simple-minded, and it shows you exactly how this works and how it goes from a patient to a doctor to the staff standpoint. It's going to break it down. What is a lead? I know Dr. Tovar spoke yesterday, and we're probably like, man, social media overload, but welcome. It's 2019, almost 2020 here, people. What are the students going to be doing when they're graduating and coming to your community, right? Sorry, millennials, I'm just above you, but they're not the hardest workers anymore, right? They're going to be right here, but yet they have the potential to be in front of their entire community in seconds, okay? But we're out there because what we're taught is just go work your butt off. I've been asked for business cards this week, and I'm like, oh, dang it. I can text you.
What's that?
Right? So one thing with this that I think is so important that you understand is how simple it can be. So from a personal standpoint, because once again, I'm a nobody, and hopefully you're not realizing that, but maybe you're starting to. I've been on my own for 4 years. So I went and practiced as an independent contractor with Dr. Ryan for 2 years because I always told him, if you're going to drag me through chiropractic school, then you better give me a place to practice. I can learn the ropes and learn from $1 million a year.
No,
doctor.
You said if Ryan can do it, I can do it.
If Ryan can get through it, I can do it. But, okay, I came actually this past Tuesday, right here in this small community, was my 4-year anniversary of being on my own.
Give me some. Awesome.
Woo!
Congrats.
Been awesome. Okay, in the midst of starting the office, my wife was pregnant and coming up. It was just like,
That's
wow.
your fault. Don't blame that on her.
We do everything in twos, so it was a scary time, right? We've all been there, and maybe you're at a scary time because it's not rolling, and you're like, what the heck do I even do? But in that really 2-year time frame, 2.5 years of using this form of marketing, with learning Dr. Ben's systems of adding what we call verticals, of adding different streams of revenue, different services for your patient, because it's awesome. Chiropractic's awesome, and we do correction and we do wellness, but now of being able to add regenerative medicine in our office, right? Hopefully Dr. Neal's not here. I'm a Herman grad. If you'd have told me I'd have been doing that in my office just a few years outside of graduating, I would have laughed his head off. But here's why we're doing that. It's marketing. I would have never even started 4 years into practice buying my own office, renovating it right now in a neighboring town, and beginning to do that. But since we only work 18 hours a week and have $1 million office, it now allows us to start another office, help more people, because if you're not, your mission is way off base. Go into another community and know that as soon as those doors open, Brian is sitting back in LA creating a funnel, a revenue of new patients that I know we're going to start away and be successful right away with. Does that make sense? If by doing this, it allows more everything. Income, new patients, offices, time with family. Does it all for you. Next. Patient at home, scrolling on Facebook mindlessly. This is your ad right in front of their face. One click. 2 clicks.
Online scheduler.
Staff person behind the front desk. Game time. Patients in your office. Game time.
Create an amazing culture. This is your ministry right here. This is what you're called to do.
Looking doctor right there. Yeah.
That's my girl right there. You might be asking one thing, like, where was that doctor's report, by the way? It wasn't in that video, okay? But you're wondering, like, well, what happened to did you not share everything with him? He has a video of him doing a doctor's report, because during that, he's going and adjusting, going back and forth, turning the power on all his patients while they watch the DR of him, because then he's got 3 or 4 other new patients lined up the same shift. So they are getting the philosophy that we make these videos for day 1, and then we go in and meet with the patient. Super powerful, like extremely powerful.
Okay, now once again, doctors, don't leave me hanging. I will literally I will come out there and raise your hand for you. Dr. Tovar spoke, incredible, right? I mean, you can tell that she has a passion to be in front of people and use Facebook organically. But when we talk to doctors and we start talking about a post, news feed, inbox, messenger, scheduling, keep going on and on, comments, likes, shares, it's like, whoa, what the crap's going on? Okay, that's organic. So when we talk to doctors, they're like, oh, so you're going to put content on Facebook for me? You're going to boost that, right? Yeah, I boosted something for $20 the other day. We're not even on the same page here. Okay, which is all right. You have to be doing those things because it's free, and you're a fool if you're not, okay? But what this is something to where it is a sponsored ad that retargets, because Facebook's creepy of how incredible let's use it, but how amazing it is to just keep putting yourself in front of that customer over and over and over again by the thousands of patients each and every day. So that video just walks you through how simple it is. And today, I think the biggest thing on the tour is the 1-day process, because you will be overloaded if you don't begin to at least, and you don't have to do it, but it's just something that makes it very practical.
Yeah, so one of the great things that we have is this amazing system. And the other thing is, I will warn you now, when you start doing this, you're gonna go to the coffee shop, you're gonna go to lunch, and they're gonna be like, I see you. I know you. I see you on Facebook all the time, right? So if you want to be the world changer in your community, this is it. I'm telling you, you're going to go everywhere in your community. And if you don't, my daughter's going to graduate and come into town, and she's definitely going to do it, because she's going to be the most successful doctor month 1. Bam. It's crazy.
I wasn't explaining this until this week, but it is so It really hit at home of where, man, that makes sense. I'm so glad that we started doing this. But how many of you want referrals in your office? Heck yeah, right? I mean, they're incredible. They're quality patients. They already know the cost. They're coming in. They need help. They've had a great referral. Incredible. Don't ever break that train. Okay, we're not up here saying this is the only thing we do. No way. You've been getting to create the culture. It feeds itself. But I bet the person that referred them started here. And
80%.
then from there, they have a family member that they're like, oh, you know, they need that. Or that person was in a car accident a week ago, and now a PI case just came in your office. There's a $4,000 or $5,000 case, okay? Or from there, here's what it's called. It's called being the first choice doctor. Referral is incredible, but in your community, you want to be the first choice doctor. And people it goes by choices, right? You Google your office name. Do you want to be the fifth choice? Right? How many people are going to come in your office if you're the fifth choice? Okay, so for me, one thing that an easy tip for you today is get online, Google your chiropractors in your community, see how many reviews that your local competitor has, and you better be at least double. Easy. So while doing this, we're over 2,000 likes on Facebook because when they see our ad, they're like, oh, I'll go ahead and like them. That's cool. And then we've got likes that go through the roof, shares, comments. People then see the ad and say, well, I don't have back pain, but man, Aunt Cindy does. So they tag and they share it to them. Mm-hmm. And it just continues to go. Continues to go. It really does. Next slide. Here's what makes us different. How many of y'all spend time on Facebook? And I'm not saying like just aimlessly, but you keep up with people, you use it just the way it was truly designed, and you see the sponsored ads from marketers on there, right? Hey, we guarantee you 50 new patients this month. Maybe you've even tried it. I think the newest one that we've kind of been joking about is called Chiro Candy. And hey, $500 a month, and we're going to do all of this for you. And when we really sit down with Brian and we start talking about it, and probably after about 2 minutes, it goes over our head because, once again, we're chiropractors. We didn't learn marketing in school or business. But they guarantee these things. But Facebook changes so often because it's the name of the game. There's no way that they have a team that continues to optimize it, retarget it, a staff that's going to train your staff. The doctor doesn't have to do it because Lord knows we don't want to train the staff. It's not a bad thing to do, but then from there, we're going to help the doctors. This is what Leap Media does. We do it for you.
Two of the most important things on here is this close monitoring they check. They actually check it daily, okay? We see it weekly. So if we go like so for like this weekend, we're not showing our phones. We're getting like 2 to 5 leads a day. So when I say they check it daily, Andrew and I look at ours pretty much weekly, okay? 2 or 3 times a week. Andrew and I, like, to give you a paranoid state for us is if we don't have a leads in 2 days in a row. Like, we go in like, dude, did you not get a lead today or yesterday? I'm like, no. We're like, Brian, what's going on? What's going on? He's like, hey, I changed something. They'll be on there tomorrow. And then tomorrow, bam, we get 6 of them. So in saying that, it equals you're going to spend less management or less fees on Facebook ad spend, and Andrew will explain that to you in a minute, okay? So that means we're going to give Mark Zuckerberg less money. This is right here. This is where the money is spent on the staff that optimizes everything at a Superman level. Incredible.
Everybody familiar with a lead? What a lead is when the person in the community sees your ad, they click on it, and there's 2 things that happen. One, they immediately fill out name, number, email, okay? And if they send that info in, once they do that, you have their contact, okay? What we do is immediately we have our staff call. Hey, Hannah, we saw that you're interested you saw our ad, you're interested in chiropractic care. What's going on? What's bothering you? Care for them. Immediately build that relationship. Hey, I'm Nicole, that's my front desk girl. And what can we do? When would you like to come in? I saw you didn't schedule. Did you have any trouble? What day would you like to come in? Option 2, which is the best and the most common one, patient sees the ad, they fill out name, number, email, they schedule for Wednesday at 9 a.m., and my staff just calls and confirms appointment. Great, we fill out paperwork, click on the link on the website, fill it out, have it ready. It's going to save you 20 minutes on your first visit. Simple, okay? Simple.
All right, so let me explain the Leap Media management fee schedule here. So I apologize, Brian, first of all, because he's going to see this number right here, 0. But there is something special about this group, seriously. So when we get phone calls from somewhere else, we're going to have these new startup fees because we're spending a lot more up front getting stuff set up so we can get ads running better, faster. This right here, we're wiping all this out. There's 2 types of agreements that we're doing, okay? There's a 12-month contract. It's $2,000 a month, or you can do a 6-month contract for $2,500 a month. Then ad spend, everybody asks, well, what do you guys spend on ad spend? It's going to be about $500 to $1,000 a month to get the success that we do. But I have to explain, this is my investment, okay? We're not doing this 2.5 years later. This is what I'm looking at as a business owner, is the system feeds itself month after month, day after day, 24 hours a day. And it's amazing how many people work third shift that I get leads at 3 o'clock in the morning.
We've talked to so many chiropractors through this business, phone calls, Zoom calls, in person. Man, we've heard so many objections, right? You guys are chiropractors. I know what a typical patient looks like coming in your office. Half the time, they think we're just neck pain, back pain doctors. You get to the end, you've delivered value. You're like, oh, how could they not do it? And then they give you just some terrible, lame excuse of, oh, immediately when we talk about the cost, I know so many of you look at it as an overhead, a cost. But when you do it, when you're like the kid on the diving board and you finally do it, you won't look at it as cost. You're going to look at it as something that's absolutely necessary to reach your community, because if not, they're going to somebody else, or they're going to be medicated, worked on. I mean, truly, think about it. What you're missing.
So let me say one other thing about this is you guys have an opportunity today. You guys have my daughter. We have amazing photographers here, and we also have videography. All right? So we can make this happen today. That's what's incredible.
Well, we're going to make you look professional. So I pulled a few strings. I don't have many strings, but pulled a few strings to get us in here this weekend. And then from there, we've got a little bit of tech going on. And what I always do, I know all of you don't have this advantage, but I wanted to extend it to you guys because we're a community. We're going to create your content, your ad content for you.
Today.
For free. So what we want from you is action.
Yeah, if you could, next slide, if you will, and then pull out your yellow sheets. Hannah, will you throw me a yellow sheet? I don't know exactly what's on it. So if you guys are going to do this, here's what we got to do. So the bottom of this, oh, I forgot, this is pretty incredible too. One common thing that we've heard about all day is about being winners. So I think there's 3 types of people in this room. Number 1 is winners. We're going to take some action. Like, I want to make this happen ASAP. So what we're going to do is we're going to fill this out, take it to the booth in the back as soon as you're done. Then we're going to get you signed up for day 1. We're going to get your video. We're going to get your pictures done today. You're also going to receive every month, of which other one you decide, you're going to receive an additional, only C3 members are going to receive another 10% off.
We're literally saving you thousands of dollars up front. I mean, honestly and truly. And then from there, time equals money. The longer you wait and you don't add this to your practice, you're losing out. And people are getting sicker. Here's one thing that we talked about. Did y'all enjoy Pastor Dean yesterday? Okay, loud, obnoxious, but man, brings the word. It's the truth. Let's go back to one thing that he said. I think that's absolutely vital. You know, he teaches pastors, and it's really sad again of how many pastors really are afraid to lead or afraid to take a step. But what's even crazier from there is that everything is a recipe for success, and the recipe, anybody can follow it. That's why there's cookbooks. But in a business world, there is one decision away can separate you from everybody else, put you on a stage, build more offices, help more people. today, be a winner. I mean, I want to challenge. I'm a challenger. I'm like, if you're going to do it, then let's stink and do it. But if you want to wait, we can answer questions. Fill it out.
If you have any questions, come up here. Andrew and I'll be up here. If you want to sign up, go in the back. And this is the one step that literally changed our office and our schedule, and that has changed our lives.